Alright guys, let's talk about trend lines, support, and resistance. Apart from understanding the basics of a candlestick and the patterns, this is going to be a very important topic also. This is kind of where you want to identify where you can jump in on a stock and where you can jump out of a stock. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up a Weeble. This is Weeble right here. We're looking at Snap and its chart on a weekly time frame. All right, so the way you guys want to approach this, what I recommend to you is you want to start at a higher time frame than what you're going to be trading in. So let's say if you are trading in the 5 minute time frame, you may want to use the 15 minute to see trends, or maybe the 1 hour. Um, if you want to do daily things, you probably want to start at the weekly or monthly. Okay, this is the way I would do it. Necessarily don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I do it. Okay. Um, so let's look at Snap here. Um, we're looking at the weekly time frame and using Webull. On the top right here, you can see drawings. The two main things we're gonna use here now is the trend line and the horizontal line. Let's go ahead and start with the horizontal line. So support and resistance basically is defined as areas where price action, the candle, tends to get support, where the price bounces off, and resistance, where the price bounces off and goes back down. So here would be a very obvious location for a resistance. The stock is going up, comes back down, opens up here and gets rejected and comes back down. The next day, next week, it opens here, goes past it, and back and forth until it actually can maintain its pressure to keep going up. Notice here on these following weeks that the wicks touch the bottom. The bottoms touch this line now. So the evolution of a resistance becomes support in the future. Okay? So, and back and forth, depending upon whichever way the price action has been um, trading around it. So we'll take a look at other support and resistance areas. So you could say probably this is one of them right here. And the support to be around right here. Okay, so you guys kind of get the gist that this is where your support and resistance would be. So the other one would be the trend line. The trend line is usually done in a diagonal. As you can see here, their snap has been trending quite a bit, and you could probably see that there's a trend going from here, going like this. Okay, as you can see, the price action just keeps getting rejected as it rose, and then finally hit a major spot area right here to where it decided to dip down. This area right here, I imagine, would have had some kind of a catalyst, probably earnings, very strong earnings occurring. Then you see up here the lines supporting it. So that might be an outer line. Let's go ahead and draw the upper portion. So now this would be what you would call channeling. It's said to be channeling when it's traveling in a certain uh, range. As you can see here, there's the bottom of that range. Right, right about there. Yeah, right about there. So as you can see, it touches pretty close to these items, so you can see it bounces. This is what you would see normally would like to see as a pattern for a healthy growth area. Um, it goes up slowly, comes back down, goes up slowly, consolidates for a bit, goes up, and that's just a very healthy pattern. All right, so that's pretty much the gist of a trend line, which is traveling usually in a diagonal, and support and resistance, which is horizontal. Okay, so let me just put one here for. All right, so let's and this is applicable to any time frame. As you go down to the daily, you can even zoom in more of where you can go to enter and exit a trade. This is very helpful for people who do day trades because unless you're doing a long-term investment, some stocks are dangerous to hold overnight. Okay, those would be like leveraged ETFs where they're traded 24 hours a day. They're futures that they track, but their trading of that particular stock is closed during the normal hours of the market. Um, it follows the normal hours, you know, pre-market, regular market, and post-market. So a lot of things can happen at night. All right, so as you can see here, this would be a good consolidation area. Well, not consolidation. This would be a good area to enter the trade. As you saw from previous content that you studied, that this would indicate a reversal. These candlestick patterns here, especially this one and this one, and then as you can see, it starts to rise. There will be other visual tools that you will be able to use in the future that will help identify this. I'm not going to introduce those to you yet, as I'd like for you to learn these because the indicators are kind of just, it's an easier way to look at it, but you should be able to see these things without them. So, what you want to concentrate on is not the indicators, and they do help, especially when the indicators and resistance and support and trend lines all converge together. That usually has a higher probability of occurring. Okay, so trading is really about probability. Okay, we can get into that a little more later on, but it's about stacking the odds in your favor for something to occur. But it doesn't mean it will occur because there are things that happen in the market, such as riots or someone giving a speech that would cause this thing to rise quickly or fall quickly. And it had nothing to do with the company itself. Okay. And just to note, this is technical analysis. Um, Technical analysis is purely a chart play. It's based on those probabilities, like I said, and patterns. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals of a company. The fundamentals being how the company operates, what product it does, how well it's managed, and those kind of things. Technical analysis totally disregards that. So one of the things that you may want to consider is the marrying of the two. That's what you've seen me post on our groups, like the Nano Dimension um, stock. It's a phenomenal uh, company. It's ran very well. Um, they have currently, as we speak, they have zero debt. They have hundreds of millions of dollars for acquisitions of companies and further R&D of their next product to create a bigger gap. They have a solid plan. They have patents, and they're the only player in their game. So those are the fundamentals. If you look at the candlesticks and the technicals behind it, that's where you would use to identify when to enter the trade. Um, but for like long-term trades like that, you're gonna want to enter the trade in as soon as you can, but hopefully not the peaks of these things, right? Even though long-term wise, you'll still, be in the green, still making money, but you just gave up that particular range. Okay, so if nobody has ever said it, patience is number one in trading and investing. If you have patience and you understand um, the technicals and the fundamentals of the company, you will do great. Um, if you panic or you have a lot of FOMO or those kind of items, that will work against you because trading is purely a technical thing. It's supposed to be somewhat boring. It's not supposed to be that exciting. Um, because when it becomes too exciting, then that means you're trading with a lot of emotion, and that's what's going to get you in trouble. All right, so getting back to the chart, you can drill down to the 1 hour. The same thing occurs. You see how these patterns occur. Um, so these are the same patterns that we've talked about in the candlestick patterns. Um, it works for all the way down, even to the 1 minute chart. Right. So as you can see here, this would be like for like this particular day. This is what the price action would have to go further to actually get a breakout. Okay, so this is supposed to be a bullish trend. It's going up, so let's see if it continues tomorrow. But if you want to see if it continues tomorrow, that's where you would identify it in the daily time frame. Okay, you can see here it closed near the top, but it's near a support and resistance line. So it could probably go up a little bit, maybe, and then come back down. You just have to watch and see how the price action goes. But I can tell you that this is a very strong trend. Um, so more likely continue to go up a little higher, like I was saying, come back down, and then continue its way on up to all-time highs. So this is actually Snap's all-time highs. So it could go down there. More likely, it will probably go up and then maybe come back down and retest these levels. Again, that's a play-by-play thing. Um, so you have to keep and watch for that. Yeah, I mean, it's only Tuesday and the week's running pretty high. I mean, this stock has a tendency to do that. I mean, before that was just all-time high, and it just jumped right through it. All right, guys. Well, that's it for trend lines, support, and resistance. Hopefully, you found this to be helpful. Again, I'm not a financial advisor or professional stock trader. I'm just sharing with you what I do and how I do it. Um, it's up to you, and you gotta have your own due diligence. So, all right. Have a good night.